You know, he's playing sweeper keeper, he's playing defender, he's in the 10, you know, we joke about
Vacario on the 10, mate.
Vacario in the 10, high line for life.
I think he's got the potential to be a sort of 10-ish plus goals a season attacking midfielder, which has been something that Liverpool have lacked entirely.
The money you spent on Mason Mount, 65 million, the amount of money you spent on Hojlund, 60 million, you could have bought Harry Kane.
What was it? Played 10-1-8, Chelsea turn up. Bosh. What's happening, everyone, and welcome to 888 Sport. On this episode of the playlist, we're going to rank the 5 best players who moved to the Premier League this summer from overseas. The players that I would love for you to rank are Jeremy Doku, Dominik Szoboszlai, Vacario, Nicolas Jackson, and Rasmund Hojlund. Flex, do you remember what you said about Rasmund Hojlund?
I do.
Let's take a look.
Man United will be back to square one again. The same way I probably that's why I put.
But he
Son
has
so
to
high.
be good. He has to be good for everything you're saying to come true. He has to be good.
And he is going to be good.
But
you
don't
know in
that.
this list, Rory,
I do know that.
So, what I need for you to do, please, is rank them in order from best to worst. Before we do the reveal, will you please do us a favour? Click the subscribe button right now. We have some brilliant festive content coming your way. Right. Please show in 3, so I'm watching you. 2, 1, go. Okay, so 1 and... Oh, Doku top.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was between these two. I just have loved watching Jeremy Doku, to be honest. That was purely that, but I think Szoboszlai has been an unbelievable signing.
I nearly put Vacario top.
Yeah, I feel like these 3 places were very hard, and like if I just went with the full-blown bias Spurs in me, I would have obviously put Vacario.
It's hard because obviously Vacario's a keeper. So sometimes, like when we watch football, we talk about who impacts the main game, who scores, who assists, all these types of things. But his impact on your team, from Maurice to
I'd
him,
say being a keeper, being a keeper
yeah.
almost makes it more impressive as well, because he's coming into a back line that
that's actually
well, yeah, it's true.
He
A brand new, he probably should
Yeah.
be, but a brand new back four for Spurs. Essentially, you know, he's playing sweeper keeper, he's playing defender, he's in the 10. You know, we joke about
Vacario on the 10, mate.
Vacario in the 10, high line for life. You know, he can kind of do it all, and I absolutely love him. And he's so agile, and he's up, he's down, he's everywhere, and he's a keeper that I fully trust. And I think, you know, from having Hugo Lloris and kind of watching it kind of peter out with him and then not having that kind of assurance at the back, that probably did lead to a few kind of like defensive frailties over time. But I really rate him, and considering he's coming completely unknown, he probably should be higher. But I was trying to not be biased because I think Szoboszlai, for what he's been able to contribute to Liverpool, has been amazing so far. Really great player. And I think Jeremy Doku as well. I mean, how could you not put him in?
1, 2 and 3 in any particular order. Nobody's wrong here.
Yeah.
I mean, I went Szoboszlai top, so did Paul. Oh, so the 3 of us went Szoboszlai top. How good do you
Dom.
think?
So you went with
Dom, mate. I ain't getting involved in any of that.
How good is he?
He's really good, like really ridiculous.
Has he been the jewel in the crown of the new signings?
I think he had been. I think the last couple of weeks, I think we've probably overplayed him a touch, and we're starting to see a little plateau. But I would expect, get out the Christmas period, I think he'll go up a level again. I think you buy footballers sometimes, and I think it's a bit like when you buy a house, you tend to like sacrifice something. So if you buy someone who's got height, you lose a bit of pace, or maybe you lose a little bit of skill. If you get skill, you lose physicality. I don't see what he doesn't have. Yeah. Basically, he's like 6'2", 6'3". He's lightning quick, his close control is amazing, and honestly the shot on him is ridiculous. I think he's got the potential to be a sort of 10-ish plus goals a season attacking midfielder, which has been something that Liverpool have lacked entirely under Jurgen Klopp. He's great. He's like a perfect footballer.
That look, pains me to say, but again, I was talking.
And sorry, just to think we got him instead of, we didn't get Mason Mount.
Apparently, Klopp wanted him. I don't know.
Missed out massively.
Lavia.
I was saying,
it was a hard one to take, a bitter pill to swallow.
I was saying to Paul, like before we started recording, that like as much as I don't like Liverpool, obviously they're our biggest rivals, I respect how Jurgen Klopp has gone about this rebuild, because I looked at it last year, obviously clowning Liverpool. You know, they embarrassingly lost out to Caicedo. You know, Fee agreed. Klopp's in a conference saying, "Yeah, it's agreed, but I'm just waiting for him to come up here," sort of thing. Then you get the pied, you know, goes to Chelsea. You missed out on Lavia. Then it's like, look at Liverpool, can't get any signings.
Hey, listen,
You've got
no
McAllister
shooting your shot.
Oh, 100%. And that's
always going to go home alone.
Yeah. And that's what they did. But because they're so organised and got a proper structure, they've gone, we're going to get these guys.
Do you know what, Paul? You know when your midfield of last year and the successful midfield that you've had over the past, certainly over half a decade, when that was sort of demolished in one summer and you're fearing the worst, Would you now say, with hindsight, that Szoboszlai has bridged the gap and you're more confident in your midfield this season than you were last? Or is it not that good yet?
Look, time will tell. It's early doors for Liverpool, and I think they're ahead of schedule, which I think surprised me, to be perfectly honest. I thought it'd go back to being competitive, but I've been blown away by how good they've been, to be honest. And he's the one, he's plug and play. You know, so Alexis McAllister's come in and he's had to do a job in the 6. Szoboszlai's come in and he's playing in his position. He's doing a good job. And then you got Gravenberch, who was right at the end of the window, who is, I think he's actually could be that level as well. So actually, you know, there's a thing where we do this list at the end of the season. Either both of them are in there, or you're making a judgment call between one or the other. To be perfectly honest,
he wouldn't be playing like that if he was at United.
He would, because Ten Hag made him.
No. He wouldn't be.
Ten Hag made him like he made Anthony, like he made Martinez, like he made Onana.
Yeah, he wouldn't be playing like that. Don't be disappointed.
Let's take this to the bottom. Yeah. I've gone for Hojlund at the bottom, Jackson above, and I've simply done that because Jackson scored more goals.
I see why you've done that. It's because Hojlund hasn't scored a goal. You can say, okay, he's bottom. However, I've never seen a player like Jackson score a hat trick, score a couple of goals, and everyone thinks he's crap. I mean, like
45
Hojlund,
chances to get a hat trick. 9 men.
Even your own fans. After that, I watched some of your content. And I saw.
Sneery.
I watched. Sometimes I tune in. I like to see what you're up to. I thought, Chelsea have actually won a game against Spurs as well. Let me see what Rory thinks. Yeah. And you wasn't full of praise for Jackson. You wasn't saying finally he's arrived. You still think he's rubbish. Yeah. The thing is,
but Rory's a small, smiley person who's filled with hatred. I think I've learned this over the years. There's a lot of hate inside that heart.
And maybe this is my Man United hat, right? But I'm going to die on this, right? Obviously, weirdly, don't ask me how, it was Onana's fault. Weirdly, Hojlund is like the top scorer in the Champions League. We're bottom of the group, right? And in them games, you're seeing actually he's strong, he's quick, he can score good goals.
In the group stages, it's easier to score.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter.
Galatasaray aren't as good as some.
Doesn't matter. It was easy to score against 9 men, and have 100 chances.
They didn't start with 9 men. They lost
and when they had 11, he didn't do anything.
No, but he wouldn't have done anything had there been 11.
Everyone goes 9 men. It's because they lost their heads and got sent off because of Chelsea's excellent.
Because of Nicolas Jackson, because of his press. But anyway, before I pass it on, I think in the long run, I think Hojlund is a better player than him and will be a better player than him.
Definitely.
I don't rate Jackson, but I've seen nothing.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's just what I see.
Hojlund was a guy. How much did you pay for him?
Loads.
64.
Was it?
Yeah, we shouldn't really have done that.
So it's more than double.
Was it not like?
It's more than double with Jackson.
Closer to
£64 million.
You love talking money.
Okay.
More than
I agree. I think
sorry, I've shot you.
I'll let Paul finish first.
He hadn't even scored double figures goals in a top European league. I think he got 9, and in Italian football as well, which, let's be honest, is borderline for a top.
But that's not his fault. That's the incompetency of Man United. Man United paid.
No, but this is 100%. That's the thing of him. Is
wild.
That Jackson was bought, I think, as like, we'll get another guy, and Kunku's meant to be one of the main guys in there. They should have bought someone better. But Manchester United's big mission was obviously go and buy a number 9.
But it was supposed to be 2 though. I'm not going to bore you with the semantics.
Let's go and buy a child from Italy who doesn't score goals.
They're so stupid. They went and paid, like you said, the kid who's supposed to be the understudy to whoever, whether it was going to be Harry Kane or Osimhen, whoever, but there's no money. Then they went, actually,
this is a completely fake narrative. This is such a fake narrative.
Exactly.
Such a fake narrative that you had no money to spend. Such a fake narrative. Because
the money you spent
in
the players we tried to sell.
The money you spent on Mason Mount, 65 million. The amount of money you spent on Hojlund, 60 million. You could have bought Harry Kane.
Yeah, but we would not have improved our midfield or tried to. We didn't have money to invest all the things that we wanted to do.
You're wrong.
Someone's just smashing you up.
And also, you're wrong. Harry Kane actually improves our midfield as well because he drops deep. He lays it on a plate.
Would Daniel Levy have sold to Man United? No, he wouldn't.
For the right price. I'm telling you, for the right price.
Compete with Summers.
Anyway,
couldn't get Harry Kane.
You personally can't compete with Summers.
We couldn't compete for Harry Kane's signature.
The media tried to sell Harry Kane to United for 9 years. 9 years. The media, everyone, he's going United, Yeah. Gets to the summer, he's going.
Where did you think he was going to go?
United.
Well, there you go then.
I thought
where were United? Didn't even bother coming in for him.
Yeah.
Instead, went and bought Mount for 65 million.
Getting buyer's remorse over Mason Mount.
I mean, I'm very happy. I'm happy he didn't go. I'm very happy.
It's like when you sign up for a new gas and electric contract on your doorstep.
Everyone's kind of Mason Mount. When he comes back and when he's fit, Mason Mount's going to be a good player for Man United.
All right, we'll clip.
Might not be under 10 hard.
We'll clip that. But on Hojlund,
he's a good player.
I actually think
like he's not.
Nicolas Jackson's going to be a good player for Chelsea.
He won't.
Spout stuff.
He just won't. I think there is a good player in there. I think when you look at how...
Actually, why is he not bottom then? All that talk.
Because Nicolas Jackson's way worse.
Oh, well, there you go then.
You just upset he scored a hat-trick against you.
Against 9 men, Rory.
Yeah, but there were
9 men.
11 to
He
begin
had
with. It's
40
your fault there was
chances.
9.
He
It's
had
your
40
fault there was
chances.
9. It's not
40
his fault.
chances to score a hat-trick.
If you score a
It's an
hat-trick, it's never a bad day at the office.
It's an embarrassment.
It's a good day.
That can't look at
It's an
that.
embarrassment to Chelsea.
That didn't
That's
bother
who number
Abby
9
at all
is.
because they clapped the players off the pitch at the end
It
of
was
the game.
full
so
of
they were made
bravery,
up with it.
full of heart.
Yeah, I mean, that
Big
ended
hands.
your season when we ended
Did
your
you see
season
Vacario
again.
in the
We
tunnel?
ended your
They
season
won
again,
since
didn't
at
we?
the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we ended your season since. We ended your season that day. Again, it's like the Battle of Stamford Bridge all over again. Yet again, your dreams die against
It
Chelsea.
was a terrible 15 minutes.
What was it? Played 10-1-8. Chelsea turn up. Bosh. Bosh again.
Listen,
And
I
in
had
4.
I had to win, but what I actually want to say is I can't believe Micky van der Ven is not on this list.
Yeah,
It
how
is
high
out-
would if he were play a game? Sorry for not
one,
putting him on.
absolutely number 1.
Because of the impact he's had
The
on
impact he's had at Spurs, we actually have a competent defender. He makes Christian Romero play well, bar that Chelsea game, where he lost his head. But bar that game, he has come in and completely changed that Spurs back line. He is integral. And I know he's been injured for a couple of games now, but he's so integral. I think at the end of the season we'll be saying he's been the most important player.
Right, so for us to unify, we're basically split 50-50 between Jackson being 4th and Hojlund being bottom.
Jackson bottom.
I think it's right that Paul has a deciding vote because he's gone my way.
I think Jackson's been all right. You know what I mean? I think with the level of expectation, it should be lower on
30
it.
million quid punt from Villarreal.
Exactly. He's a prospect in look, and also because Chelsea's scattergun.
Can I say something?
prospect.
Can I say something? By your
Not
metric,
Rory,
Rory,
not at that
Rory,
price.
hang on, Rory in another
rough.
video said about Mudryk, and he said there has to be some level of expectation. You have to have done something. So we're saying a kid who's come from Atalanta who scored 9 goals. It's only money that's made him. It's the same thing as the Mudryk thing.
Yeah.
It's only money.
But that's the same with Jackson. So the only thing separating them is
Manchester
the money.
United chose not to go all in on Harry Kane and instead bought Rasmund Hojlund for about, he's saying 64 million, but all in, it's going to be closer to 90, isn't it? You know,
No, it's going to.
If they qualify for the Champions League, but the
If he
add-ons,
wins the Ballon d'Or,
the add-ons won't
if
come
he
in.
wins the Ballon
Yeah, the
d'Or,
add-ons won't come
then
in.
it will go up to 72 or something. But it's
He's not
64
gonna win
plus
the Ballon
add-ons.
£72 million.
64 plus add-ons. We haven't paid that
62
money,
million
and we
pounds.
won't because he's never going to do that well. At
Interesting that you've got Doku number 1, Abby. Well, so how good do you think he is, and how high do you think his ceiling is?
Ridiculous. I think he's such a good signing. To be honest, as I said, any of those 3 I could have had as number 1. It's just my personal preference. I love watching Jeremy Doku play. I love that traditional winger that has all that pace, gets down the byline, can cross it in, contribute with a goal. You know, hit the woodwork against Spurs, didn't he? I mean, that probably should have gone in. And another day it does. I think he's so integral to City and what they can do and how they'll use their build-up play. And you think about the players they've lost in Gundogan and Mahrez. I think he's such a great replacement to come into that side. It just gives you another outlet. And I've just loved watching him play. He's just... When I watch him, I'm just like, wow.
He's very refreshing. I think
is.
footballers, especially in a City team, in a Pep team, they're very programmed, which is why Man City actually, even though they've been the best team in the land, they often get labelled as the team that people don't enjoy watching. Yeah. It's very predictable. Rodri's going to get it. They're going to recycle the ball. They're going to cut back and someone's going to tap it in. Like, if you're a City fan, you're saying, listen, I don't care, we're the best, which I understand. But as a neutral... And in general, in terms of modern day football, those types of wingers that get
also,
at people
wingers
are few.
So much of the time now cut in, and I mean he does it on occasion, but he can do both. And I love that winger that just goes down the line.
Both.
Yeah.
Literally find you a guy that can do both.
Not just
Pep's finally got his Nathan Redmond, doesn't he?
yes.
2 minutes ago he's called him the Belgian Adama Traore. Now you called him Nathan Redmond. There is some
all
serious
dribbles now.
bias.
Grealish
Bottom of your list before.
I don't think that we can conclude this, so we're going to have to leave it up to you at home. Please do us a favour. Will you comment below? Have we got it right? Who do you think out of us has got it right? And if there's anybody that you think has been left off this list cruelly, Abby took umbrage at Van der Ven being left off the list. So let us know where you sit on that. Thank you so much for watching. Please do click subscribe, and we will see you all on the next episode of The Playlist. Thanks again for watching, and if you want to see us rank the 5 most disappointing players in the Premier League, click this link right now. Cheers.